Brighten up those dark mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lecter. Mornings at the cabin.
Oh, mornings at the cabin indeed. It's your best friend, Wheeler, back from a little isolation. That's right. Lecter and I are with you on this. What morning is it?
It's Thursday.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
No idea what day it is. Second round of ISO done. This time was a little longer. We were just kind of going over this. The first time we did it back in March when everything went to poop.
Right.
We had like a retroactive date. Phoenix had been back in town for 5 or 6 days, and they were like, okay, if you travel outside the territory within these days, you got to isolate until this time. Like, okay.
Yeah.
So we went on for another like 6 days.
I kind of wondered if you would just like have a grand plan for it this time. If it, like you went through the first one, you're like, okay, if we have to isolate again, here's how we're going to do it. It's going to be the best 2 weeks ever.
Well, I mean, I think I would have had we actually planned that from the beginning, because if you remember, the first time we weren't going to when she first came home, we weren't going to do this. We were going to isolate separately.
Yes. Terrible plan.
Awful plan. We were going to isolate separately, and we were going to like do the whole thing at least for as long as we could.
Yeah.
I was like, let's try it for a week.
Yeah.
And then maybe I'll take some time off work and we'll just hang out. Within an hour of her like getting home, she's just like, yeah, we're not doing this. And it was a bit more heartfelt than that. She's like, yeah. Do this.
Yeah.
And I was like, fair enough.
Wait, one more take.
I don't want to do this. All right. Okay. That's fine. So yeah, it's been a couple of weeks. I'm a little discombobulated. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, I tried to tune out as much as possible. Just wondering, anything happened while I was gone?
Just more COVID.
Oh, COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's still a thing, huh?
Oh yeah.
All right.
It's back.
Mornings at the cabin, the podcast.
Wheeler and Lecter with you on your Thursday morning, or whatever the hell day it is. Good morning. It is dark now. When I get here, don't like it. Feels like a lot of things have changed in the last 2 weeks. Here's the thing I forgot about isolation. Now, a lot of you have done this probably multiple times, because this is something that a lot of people have had to do, right? And so this is my second bout of ISO. Like I said earlier, we did like 4 or 5 or 6 days the first time. This time, full 2 weeks. And like first week's great because like it was meant to be. Again, it was meant to be like some time off for us.
Right.
She went down to visit her mother, who was having some medical issues, some health issues, and so she came back. She had to isolate 2 weeks, and so we just said, okay, you know what? We'll just do that. Originally, obviously, planned to do the isolation separately.
Yeah,
stupid.
We should have taken bets on that, but everyone would have bet against you guys.
Absolutely. I don't know if anybody would have got within the first hour of like they'll last a day. Well, okay, technically we did last a day. Because she got back on Wednesday, she isolated in the bedroom for that night because I had to go to the dentist the next night. So technically, we made it. I stayed at work that entire day, and then finished up all I could do, and then got home. And that was it.
And you didn't even have Betty to pet because she had already torn Betty away from you, right?
Torn Betty away from me.
Yeah.
The howling.
That was the clincher.
The Betty's howling still haunts my dreams. Oh, she's fine. Oh, she's fine. So there was that, and I mean that is a huge. That's a huge thing because technically, right, you're not supposed to if Betty goes to Phoenix and Phoenix, gives her kisses and Betty licks her and all that stuff.
Right.
Like I'm technically not supposed to touch Betty.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. That's next to impossible. That is next to impossible to do.
Yeah.
Let alone not being able to touch, hug, kiss your partner who we haven't seen in 2 weeks, who is just dealing with some medical issues with her mother, which is a huge deal.
Yep. Not sure why you didn't anticipate that in your isolation plan.
We anticipated it, but we wanted to see because like it's been super busy, crazy busy at work.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's not convenient for most people.
No, it's not
to self-isolate.
No, it's not. And I mean, we and very fortunately, very privileged, very very fortunate to be able to
to keep on keeping on.
To keep on keeping on. Truck that trucking. To be able to isolate for a couple of weeks, take a couple of weeks off work, and not totally screw up our lives,
right?
And not like miss the next rent because of it. Mm-hmm. So we're incredibly fortunate.
Rent's not that good anyway.
We're incredibly fortunate to be able to do that. So obviously, very grateful to be able to do that. But yeah, things like that obviously make it a lot more complicated. But yeah, I don't know why we didn't anticipate it either. Yeah. I went out on the Tuesday. Dropped like $600 on groceries because I bought like stuff for her and stuff for me.
Right.
I'm gonna make lunches over here. She's gonna make lunches over here. Separating all these things, clean the house,
Such grand plans.
First thing that happened. So I cleaned the house, and I admittedly didn't do like a deep clean. I'm just like, well, she's coming in mud.
Yeah.
So I didn't do a fully deep clean, but I straightened up and I cleaned up. I've cleaned up pretty well.
Ants can't carry COVID, can they?
That's right. No, ants can't do that.
Oh, okay.
Ants, easy. So, and I was like, okay, I did a quick clean. I did a pretty good clean on
Right.
it. Within the first day, because she's like at home, bored.
Right.
Just did a whole clean of the house, and I came home on the Thursday, and I was just like, oh, this house is immaculate.
But you've cleaned it with your COVID hands.
That's right. But now we both have COVID hands. So I mean, the big difference between the first and second ISO, I was just telling you, the first one was like, wasn't exciting, but it was like, this is all very new.
Yeah.
And they're still like, you're still carrying that energy from the beginning of the year, I guess. Like
Yeah.
you have been worn down by this
Right.
just yet.
Yeah.
Now our lives have not gotten that much different. We've gone to work, blah, 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 but there's still that kind of anxiety, that kind of thing hanging over everything is that like, yeah, what's going to happen? Like
Yeah.
when does the economy start getting going at full bore and all this stuff? So there's that kind of existential anxiety.
Yeah. Well,
So
and
this-
it's one thing, too, if, like, everyone is quarantined at
Exactly.
the same time.
Yes.
If you are, like,
Yeah.
just the odd house out
Yes.
on the block.
That is a part of it. Absolutely. That's a great point. And I hadn't
Yeah.
thought about that, is that like when it all went off in March, we were all like, okay, like even if you're not isolating, if you're not like told to isolate,
Yeah.
a lot of places were closing
yeah,
down.
you weren't going anywhere.
We're going anywhere. Exactly. Like even if you were still going to work, you're like, well, we're not leaving the house to go to a bar. Everything's
Right.
closed down. So we're all in this together.
Yeah.
Now that it's kind of lax, it's a little bit less tight, even though we just had a couple of cases, obviously. But it didn't, like we talked about before, it didn't tighten all the way back up.
Right.
You know, we
Yeah.
contact trace these people, and that's it. We try to figure it out.
Yeah.
So there's that. Is that life continues to go on while you're just sitting there in your house.
Yeah.
And then the existential dread and just the exhaustion of 8 and 9 months of just like, you know, not really knowing what's going on, but still working every day and like, again, very
Yeah.
fortunate to be able to work every day, but still wasn't this kind of like, not that it was exciting back in March, but it was like, hey, we're all in this together. Let's
Yeah.
have a Zoom date. Let's play board games. Let's play poker online.
Yeah.
And we'll all drink together and have a reunion. None of that happened in these 2 weeks. None of that. I even tried a couple times. Anybody want to play board games? Like, no, we got to work tomorrow. It's like,
Yeah. It was still novel.
It was still novel. Exactly.
No
so
pun
there was
intended.
a big, yeah. It was still Corona, pun intended. So it was quite different.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't want to do it again.
Right.
But yeah, we decided to take these 2 weeks off because we can't go anywhere for Christmas.
Yep.
Which is what we usually do. We usually take 2 weeks and go to Olds, Alberta for Christmas to see her folks.
Yeah.
We can't do that this year, which, you know, we're pretty upset about. But so we took
I mean,
these 2
you
weeks
can.
off.
It just, you know, back in ISO
Just
when you get
lose
back.
my job.
Yeah.
Whatever. So yeah, we'll see what happens over Christmas. I mean, she's very upset. I'm upset that we can't go.
Yeah.
At the same time, I kind of like the fact that we, you know, put up a Christmas tree. We'll have Christmas morning here with the puppy. Be able to see my mom and all that stuff on her birthday.
You know what?
So-
And the rest of us actually get to celebrate your birthday.
I don't want any of that.
Okay.
Okay. Plan it now. I don't want to know anything.
Better be
about it.
big.
Better be huge. All I want is a scavenger hunt around the entire city that centers around me and my personality quirks. Okay?
Done and done.
Thank you very much. So yeah, that's out of ISO now. It does feel a little strange.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, yesterday, smoking cannabis and
As you do.
and was getting like anxious. Like I was feeling anxious. I found myself listening to the music and just kind of walking around the house, like aimlessly, just kind of like thinking about tomorrow or thinking about today and thinking about the weeks to come.
Right.
Going into Christmas. Because usually at this point in the year, we're counting down to Christmas.
Yeah.
And being like, okay, you know, 30 more days of work and then we're off for a couple weeks. And now it's like we just take 2 weeks off. So now it's like, when do we get to have some time off again? Probably not till summer.
Oh, geez, it's just never enough for you.
It's never enough.
Jeez.
I'm off these 2 weeks, and I'm just like, when's the next time? But there was this anxiety about going back to work, and there was this anxiety about like being out in the world with people again. And it wasn't like anxiety like, oh, we're like these 2 cases are out there, no one knows what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm very confident about what's going on in the territory, even
Yeah.
with these 2 confirmed cases that people are isolating now. people are taking it seriously, regardless of how this little spread happened and how many people are just losing their minds about it. And I mean, admittedly, I was upset the first day as well. I even sent you guys a couple messages. I want some butts. But now it's just like, you know what? Like, it's so easy for it to happen. Like anything could have happened to make this happen. And regardless of whether this person was being very, very careful, these people were being very, very careful or reckless, it's going to happen. Yeah. We're going to get a case or two.
Yeah.
So there was this overall anxiety, not necessarily that COVID was out there, but just like I've shut myself in for 2 weeks. You know, I would go for drives to take Betty to the other side of town to go for walks. And being out on a drive, I was like, this is weird. So I had a little of that going on.
Yeah.
It's a very strange, isolation is very strange. And I mean, I can't speak to the massive effect that it's had on people's mental health.
Especially the people who have been quarantining for months and months
and months, or who have to quarantine, like who are doing 2 weeks in and 2 weeks off and like quarantining every time they come home. I can't even imagine.
Yep.
So like you get a very small taste of it after 2 weeks and you feel kind of restless and your body feels like a little weird. Yeah. Like I should have been doing yoga this entire time. Right. I have not improved myself one damn bit.
You had another chance.
Well, my fingers hurt because I put my guitar up again.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Atta boy.
All right. I can still play those same 30 songs almost. Didn't learn a new thing. I mean, to whoever is out there isolating a lot and who's still isolating, I mean, keep on keeping on, man, because it's tough. Yeah. It's tough. And at the end of that second week, and I mean, like this is me just speaking of a very small experience, very small sample. It's taxing. Yeah. And so for the people who are doing it constantly, more power to you. Mm-hmm. Like, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope your mental health is doing well. I hope you guys have some support around you because that's what it requires. If you're doing it alone, I can't even imagine. And I've got some friends who are doing it alone, and like you try to reach out as much as possible, but like, you know, I can't. Yeah. Nobody wants to do that.
So you're going to play us Wonderwall next?
Why?
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast, where we cut out all the great music and you're left with the rest.
It's almost Halloween. It's coming up next Saturday, so it's going to be like a full moon, a Saturday, and Halloween. It'd be perfect if it wasn't for this pesky pandemic.
I can see that you're already in the spirit.
I am. Why?
One thing that our listeners, due to our format, may not realize right now, they are listening to Evil Jesse.
Yes.
Evil Jesse's back, baby.
Yeah, and I'm calculating in colds. That's right. Savage manipulator. No, I grew out for a couple of weeks, and then...
what I mean is he has a little goatee.
Little goatee.
Yeah.
Grew out for a couple of weeks. Phoenix wanted to see how the little goatee looked again, so I shaved off everything except for the little goatee.
Little goatee makes it sound weird.
Well, my facial hair does not grow in thick, so it's not a goatee, which sounds, you know, kind of, I don't know, strong and masculine. Little goatee.
Little goatee.
I got this Cree blood. Doesn't allow me to grow facial hair much, brother.
Just want to tickle it.
Tickle me all the way. Tickle me all the way. I mean, that's what this would be. It's like a little tickler. Halloween coming up next Saturday. I remember memes from like July saying like, you know, full moon, Saturday, Halloween. Put on your friggin' masks and maybe we'll have a normal Halloween. Remember?
Yeah.
Remember back in like May when we were like, hey, you know what? If we all just do well, we'll be able to go visit people. Probably by August.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
I mean, Halloween's not canceled.
Halloween's not canceled.
So
no, we're gonna be out and about. The cabin crew, 2 crews of Halloweeny people.
I was going to ask if you were checking your email.
I was checking my email. I think I said something back. Probably didn't. No, but in my mind, I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I do that a lot.
We have got an all-star team.
I know.
Me, you, Shannon, and Sarah, Negative Sibley.
Yeah.
Oh, that's something you missed, too. We gave her a new nickname.
Because she's so negative?
No, because she reads the weather forecast weird.
Oh, because she says negative 4.
Instead of minus.
What a weirdo.
Right?
God, these kids and their new generation.
It's like they've never watched a TV weather forecast
Yeah,
before.
That's right. And when she watches hockey, it's like, this guy's plus negative is weird.
It's positive negative.
It's positive negative. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, my God. That's going to be a joke for weather people throughout the winter. It's COVID -19 out there. So
That's good.
we know that Halloween's not going to be the same. We're not going to have that amazing party by the Creative Collective this year.
Right.
I'm not sure what they're doing. I think they're doing something, and we'll have to look into it. But what we wanted to talk about right now, because it's easy radio, is talking about horror movies. And I was trying to get Phoenix to watch horror movies the entire time. I love a good horror movie. Love it. And she does not. She's not one to watch movies much at all.
Right.
Frankly, I'm not sure why we're together. I can't joke about that. I love you. So one of the things, like I said, while we were in this isolation for all of October, because I see friends going like, we're watching horror movies. I have a friend, Kyle and Morwenna, our friends in Winnipeg. They do this every Halloween. They watch a horror movie every night.
Right.
Against Mo's wishes.
Oh.
She doesn't like horror movies, but will watch them with her husband.
What a team player.
Because she loves them.
Aww.
Yeah. And if there's an example to be
nice.
set for Phoenix, it's those two. But she will not. So I mentioned it again last night. Can we please watch some horror movies before Halloween? She's like, I'll watch Hocus Pocus. I was like, that is a Halloween movie, yes.
Although great,
not a horror movie.
No.
She's like, fine, we'll watch Halloween Town. I said, that's worse.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't even know what that is. It sounds terrible.
It sounds like a Pixar.
No,
thing.
it's
No.
like it's a live action. It's like a Nickelodeon thing or something, I think.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, it's on Amazon. And so we compromised last night. We started watching Addams Family, which is not really a Halloween movie either.
Yeah.
It actually starts with Christmas music, making the first one a Christmas movie.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but in the next few days, I'm going to try to watch a few horror movies. I watched a few after she went to bed. I watched Silver Bullet, which is one of my favorite werewolf movies.
Okay.
Because I'm deep into werewolves. And it is terrible. It is terrible.
Yeah.
But great special effects. Gary Busey's in it.
Oh.
Corey Haim.
I was going to say how old, but that about
85.
Yeah, okay. That's about what I would've
1985.
guessed,
Based on the
yeah.
Stephen King novel.
Okay.
Or novella or screenplay. I don't know. But Megan Follows is in it, too. Anna Green Gables' Megan Follows is in it. It was one of her few big American movies that she did. And it wasn't a huge American movie, but it was like a big budget American movie at the time.
Yeah.
And she was doing Anna Green Gables, and that was like, they took notice of her. She's fantastic in it.
Huh.
Yeah, so I want to watch more horror movies. You haven't seen Hereditary. I haven't seen Hereditary. There you go.
No. Yeah, and we've kind of, Nicole and I have kind of been making a point of trying to watch, a few more horror movies.
A horror movie from every country in the world.
From every country in the world. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yemen horror is just bizarre.
Terrifying. These Polish horror movies are very strange.
Polish horror movies would be really scary.
We've seen Polish movie posters. They're insane. They're insane.
Oh, man.
But yeah, there's obviously, we got just over a week left till Halloween.
Yeah.
We're going to be out and about on the Halloween night, but I still want to watch a few horror movies before.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
This past weekend, watched The Shining for the first time.
The first time.
I'd never seen it before.
Starring Jim Carrey.
Starring Jim
Nicole.
Carrey. That's right. Yeah, she got a little deep fake.
Oh, that's such a good deep fake, though. It's so well done.
Oh, yeah.
I can't blame someone for thinking that was real. Like maybe Jim Carrey just did a reenactment of it or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what'd you think of The Shining?
Yeah, for that context, if people haven't seen it, that classic scene where Jack Nicholson's character is just freaking out on his wife because she's like interrupting his writing, supposedly. They did a deep fake with Jim Carrey's face.
Give me the bat, Marge. Give me the bat.
That was the most beautiful part, of course, of the whole movie, because once again, it was long overdue Simpsons references that all came flooding in.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
Give me the bat, boo. Yeah. But what'd you think of the movie?
It was great.
Terrifying.
Loved it.
Terrifying.
I didn't find it that scary.
It's a psychological horror film.
It is, yes, absolutely. And for that reason, I absolutely loved it. It's funny because, you hear a lot about... And I haven't really seen that many Jack Nicholson movies. All things,
What?
I've not seen that many of his movies.
All right.
And he gets a lot of praise for how good an actor he was. Mm-hmm. And for like the first third half of the movie, I was kind of like, this is very stiff.
Yeah.
Felt very just.
Well, he's always like the old Nicholson was like constantly on the edge of going insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like was the kind of his thing. Like you didn't know where he was kind of a loose cannon. You didn't know where he was going to go, and that was kind of part of his appeal, that there was a danger to Jack Nicholson. You didn't know what he was going to do.
Yeah.
And that comes through in his acting as well.
But before that comes through, it felt like it was maybe just like a symptom of like older style filmmaking.
Yeah,
where
that too.
it's just like the shots are very like cut and dry.
Well, that's Kubrick as well.
Right.
That's also Stanley Kubrick style, which is a lot of static, a lot of center focus. But just some beautiful shots as well, like the shot over the car as they're driving on the winding road.
Yeah.
Some really push forth how movies could be made. It was what Kubrick did, but like there's a lot of center frame stuff that look a little like dry. But the stuff that they did with like following the kid around on the little scooter and things like that, like, just amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah. But then when he starts to lose this, just like, oh my god. Well, here goes Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson. I can't do Jack Nicholson.
Oh, so good.
So good. And there's so many visual cues, just like in any Kubrick movie, there's so many visual cues and things that foreshadow what's going to happen.
Right.
And I've seen it now probably a dozen times, and I'm still picking things up. Like his tie. Did you notice his tie it has a maze on it? You can barely see it. It's something, honestly, you wouldn't have been able to see when you watched it originally, like back in the day, because it wasn't high definition enough. If you watch it in like 4K now, you could probably like pause it, focus it on his tie, and his tie looks like the hedge maze.
Well, it may shock you to know that
you didn't watch it in 4K.
He wasn't wearing a tie at all.
Oh my god! I need a shot of Colonel Quickie Mart's Kentucky bourbon. Okay, so that's a good one. That's a classic. The Shining's a classic. That's a great one to kind of start off.
Yeah, we're wondering kind of where to go next. I want to keep it like fairly classic, like older horror movie, like not like 1940s necessarily. Although I'm not opposed to that, but like before the 2000s.
Okay, that's classic.
I mean, like, what was the Shining? Like 1980?
Yeah, 80, I think.
Yeah.
81 or 82 or something.
Yeah. So anything like in that era of like the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, sure.
Have you seen The Exorcist?
I've not seen The Exorcist.
The Exorcist.
Okay,
it's fantastic. It is fantastic. And then, honestly, watch The Exorcist 2. It is an absolute piece of garbage.
1 and 2.
And then Exorcist 3 is actually pretty decent. It has one of the more decent jump scares of all time.
Okay.
And it's not super tied to the rest of it. It's actually a movie that stands on its own and is actually very good.
I just scribbled out 1 and 2. I'm just going to watch the original.
Just watch watch the version you've never seen before, because it's got a couple of scenes in there that are just fantastic.
Right. Okay. What else would you recommend?
What else would I recommend? I would recommend
like
The
Texas
Howling,
Chainsaw Massacre.
They're okay, but like I'm not a huge slasher horror movie thing. I think it's kind of boring.
Okay.
Unless you watch like House of a Thousand Corpses, which is like the slasher movie taken to the absolute nth degree.
Okay.
It is not great. It's Rob Zombie's first movie.
Oh, right.
And it's pretty, like, it's got some great practical effects, and it's just this ever increasing nightmare that doesn't relent. So there's that.
Okay. I'll put that one on the
It's kind of I honestly I see most people watching like 20 minutes of it being like, oh, this is garbage.
Yeah.
Like, give it a chance.
All right. Give me 2 more. Give me a top 3.
More.
Exorcist.
Top 3.
What else you got?
I love The Howling.
The Howling.
Great werewolf movie. Actually, instead of The Howling, if you wanted to watch something, but American Werewolf in London is not really a horror movie either. It's kind of a comedy. What else?
The Bloodening.
The Bloodening. I can't wait. Oh God, you got me. I can't think of anything right now.
Okay.
But that's pretty good. Rosemary's Baby is great.
Okay.
But again, psychological horror. If you, what do you? Okay, here's a question.
I think that's what I'm looking for.
You're looking for a psychological
I really
horror?
enjoyed The Shining.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Hereditary, which I haven't seen, but I've been told is one of the scariest movies of all time. And I don't know, The Haunting at Hill House is fun to watch.
Oh, I watched that already.
Oh,
I watched that last year.
What about The Haunting at Bly Manor?
That was 2 years. Not hip enough for that.
All right, fair enough. Well, I'm going to try to watch some horror movies, damn it. And like I said to you, if you don't have Amazon Prime, honestly, it's almost worth doing that 1 week free trial leading up to Halloween because they have so much terrific horror garbage.
Okay.
Amazon Prime is your repository for just terrible, horrible garbage. I was searching through it last night. I was like, this is as close as you're going to get to feeling like walking through the video store again, where it's like Main Street titles, TV shows, and then just aisle after aisle of just terrible garbage. I love it.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast was recorded before a sort of live, thankfully not in the studio, audience.
Joined by the entire gang, Ollie and Sarah here as well, as hour number 2 begins a little late here at Mornings at the Cabin. 12 after.
Yeah, rough first show back.
It's not rough.
Fallen
No,
behind
but
a
we've had
little
great
bit.
conversations.
We did. Yeah.
Our timing has not been great.
Timing is way off.
It's fine. It's fine. Welcome back to me, once again, your best friend.
Hello, it's the first chance I've had to say welcome back. Welcome back.
You are looking very good. Do you know this? Have people been telling you how good you look lately?
Not that often, so carry on.
Give me a break. Give me a break.
Yeah,
Everybody's
yeah.
telling you.
Tell me more.
Looking svelte and whatnot. I know you're not supposed to mention it when people are reducing, but you've reduced in mass. You look great.
Well, soccer
thank you.
season started again.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Practically dying 2 nights a week.
I have predictably, after 2 weeks off, increased in mass. Ollie, you join us this morning with a little something special.
Oh, I do.
I've got the news fader up, which means something is going to go crazy.
We're going to play some audio.
Okay.
This is going to be a good one.
It's going to be nuts.
It's mostly about Sarah, and luckily Sarah joins us in studio as well.
Wonderful.
So, Wheeler, you won't know this. We now have a station phone that we use for the radio station as a call-in number for everything now.
Oh, God. We're doing that again?
Not for, like, calling into the
No.
show, just for, like, office admin stuff. If people need to phone us to, like, pick up a merch order or
And
just get a hold of
what is
someone.
that number?
765-5079.
What does that spell?
It doesn't.
Wow.
That is just the
Spells,
number.
It doesn't.
That is
Feels
just
like a missed opportunity.
the number we've got, but that is the station phone number, and it lives in the office. And I
Very
thought
nice.
I thought a while back that this station phone deserved to have a fun ringtone that would entertain us all whenever we phoned it. So I'm going to tell you right
I
now.
don't like it when you get ideas.
Not going to play it yet. Not going to play it, but I'm going to tell you right now that ringtone is about 2 years old. A recording of Sarah Price singing Baby Shark.
Oh, my God. It is one of the most played songs on YouTube in YouTube history.
Yep, but not this recording of it.
Not this version.
This one is not on YouTube yet, thankfully.
Yet being the operative
That's right.
word.
Exactly. Let's get it on
It's
YouTube.
ending up everywhere, so I'm at this point just kind of
Right.
but
So we set the ringtone, without really telling anyone, to Sarah singing Baby Shark. And lo and behold, people start phoning in, and it's a source of mild amusement to everyone in the office. It certainly means that Sarah answers the phone very quickly, which is great.
Jeez. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that was great. Fast forward to yesterday afternoon, and we had a lot of news about COVID-19, in the last 24 hours, and it's decided that there's going to be a briefing about COVID-19 at the legislature, at the Great Hall of the legislature. And so the only person who's really free to go and film that, because I was home, I wasn't feeling too great yesterday, not COVID-related at all, but I just needed to take some time off. So Sarah goes to the legislature to film the COVID-19 briefing for Cabin Radio and stream it live on Facebook. So, takes the station phone and everything and a tripod and gets it all set up, ready to go.
which I've never really done before, so I was kind of like, oh my God, like panicking.
Bit of a thing, yeah.
Grabbing all the equipment, hoping that it will work.
Yeah. But
And going to the Great Hall, I mean. Hauling all of it to the Great Hall.
So, go to the Great Hall of the Legislature. All the other reporters are there setting up. It's a relatively busy place. Everyone's wearing a mask. Gets everything set up. Phone is there, ready to go. Meanwhile, I'm back home, not feeling so great, but I just wanted to check that Emily back at the office here was just going to cover off some bits of it. So I thought, well, the station phone's right next to her. I'll just phone that. So I phoned the station phone, which, of course, is not next to Emily. The station phone is in the Legislative Assembly's Great Hall. Next to, I don't know what, a couple of dozen people? How many people were there?
The health minister and whatnot weren't there. It was just the reporters and Crystal, who's the press secretary.
Okay.
So she was in the middle of talking to me, actually, and I don't even know what she was saying to me at that moment when that phone went off, because I jumped into that chair and grabbed the phone.
So, here we go. All of your colleagues in the media are surrounding you in this massive great hall. Imagine the echoey sound effect as this plays.
Baby shark doo 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 doo, baby shark doo 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 doo, baby shark doo 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 doo, baby shark, baby shark doo 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 doo, baby shark doo 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 doo, baby shark doo 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 doo, baby shark.
So clearly you had picked it up before now.
Baby shark
Answered the call before now.
He realized what he was doing.
Baby
got the first few bars.
I got
And
two
I was like,
rings
I
in.
don't know. I turned this off, or she did, and then Crystal's like, okay, so are you going to be asking questions here? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, oh, is there someone else coming? I was like, no, I'm just embarrassed. And she's like, it's okay. My ringtone is girls just want to have fun.
That's a good ringtone.
Which is it
Something
Sarah
like that.
Price singing it?
Yeah, right.
Because that'd be pretty fun.
Just want to have fun.
I realized 2 rings in, I suddenly realized, oh God, this isn't going to get to Emily. This is ringing the station phone, which is in the Great Hall of the Legislature. The one good thing is, at least I did it then. Because if we'd got about 3 minutes into the briefing with the chief public health officer and the health minister standing there, yes, there have been 2 confirmed cases of COVID-19. And then I'm like, oh, I should just phone Emily. Baby shark, ringing
I
out.
would have like shut down the Facebook Live. I would have panicked.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Thrown the phone out the window.
Run out of the building.
Exactly what I was picturing.
Yeah,
It's
so
like,
I had to like cry and explain. I was like, yeah, sorry guys, that's just me singing Baby Shark. It's our ringtone. It's embarrassing. Carry on.
We have fun at the cabin, don't we?
yeah. And then just the health minister being like, and this next bit is so incredibly important.
Baby
Live
shark,
hanging the balance.
baby shark.
If you don't, what?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so
Amazing.
and because we've had problems with the phone, for some reason the sound keeps getting turned all the way down, so we keep missing calls. So
Turn it all the way up.
I can't imagine who would be doing that or why.
So we had the volume turned all the way up when it went off when Ollie called me.
Beautiful.
In the most echoey building in the whole of the Northwest Territory.
Well, it's the Great Hall.
Yeah. In front of a very, very important press conference.
Yeah. So
Well
I'm sorry,
done, Ollie.
Sarah.
Well
Can I
done.
just apologize on the air? I'm sorry that I phoned that phone when I phoned it. If I'd planned to do that, it would have been genius. But I didn't.
Amazing.
It was still genius.
Well, let's play us out.
All right. There we go.
Baby shark doo 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 doo. Baby shark doo 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 doo. Baby shark doo 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 doo. Baby
Beautiful
shark.
stuff.
Baby shark doo doo.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
Finishing off Mornings at the Cabin for this Thursday morning, which is like a Monday to me, because I've been in isolation for 2 weeks. And, again, did not become a better person. Did not pick up a new skill. And basically just, I wrapped Mario 64.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I've never done that.
You gotta get 120 stars.
That's a lot of stars.
A lot of stars.
I'd
Been a long couple of weeks.
That's impressive. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's amazing how people can change in 2 weeks.
Isn't it, though?
Isn't it? Yeah, completely different.
You're evil now.
Well, I guess. As evil as one can be.
Yes.
What do you got there?
K-Mac came through.
Ooh,
where,
yes, with horror movies.
Where you fell flat.
I fell flat. It's very strange. When you're put on the spot like that, like, what's your favorite movie?
Yeah.
What's your favorite? Like when I did Dad Rock the other week, he's
Right.
like, "What's your favorite song or favorite rap?"
And you just giggled for an hour.
Just giggled for an hour. I completely fell apart on
That's
you, and I
okay.
apologize.
That's okay.
'Cause he had
It's
some
your
great
first day
ones.
back.
He's got some great ones there, and I was like, of course.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yeah. So K-Mac, of course, host of Way Back with K-Mac Saturday mornings at Cabin Radio, sent in a message, and I should have just gone out to him right off the bat because he's a movie aficionado.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So he gave me a list of some classic horror movies. So you said The Exorcist and I think The Howling, and those were yours.
Mm-hmm.
So he came in with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which
we mentioned. Yeah.
You were throwing around. Didn't realize that was 1974.
Oh yeah, the original one's old.
Yeah. So
Now there's like 8 of them because there's a whole like franchise.
Yeah.
around these.
And that was what I didn't want to watch.
Yeah,
'cause I knew
remakes
there
of these old classic horror movies that are just with like, who's the hottest teenager we can get to play a hot teenager?
Right. And I knew there was one that came out in like 2004, 2005. There was another one that came out in like
There's another one
2013.
coming out like this year.
Yeah. So I wanted to watch the original. So that one, Poltergeist.
Yes, Poltergeist is fun. It is fun. It is
Fun?
Well, it's scary, but it's also a Spielberg horror movie. So it's scary,
okay.
but it's not like you know what? It is terrifying. Whatever. It's terrifying.
Okay.
But it's like a family movie. It's like a family terrifying movie.
You could all be scared together.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Oh, except there's one, like, for a Spielberg movie, there's one scene in Poltergeist that is just completely out there. It's actually mentioned on, like, if you had a listicle of, like, scenes that caught you off guard in the middle of movies.
Okay.
This would be one, even though it is a horror movie.
Okay.
There's this scene in the middle of it where it is absolutely horrifying and not for children.
So avert your eyes, children.
Yeah.
Okay, so Poltergeist, The Thing,
Okay.
which I
Yeah,
have no
The
idea
Thing.
what that's about.
Oh, the thing's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Great special effects, made in like 1980 or 81. John Carpenter movie. Kurt Russell's in it.
Oh, sold.
Absolutely.
Say
There
no
it
more.
is.
Sinister.
Yep.
The Changeling with George C. Scott.
Oh, I was thinking The Changeling with Angelina Jolie.
Well, again, I want the old ones, the originals.
Well, that's not, but that one's not a horror movie.
Oh. Candyman.
Candyman, absolutely. I can't believe I forgot about Candyman. Is probably my favorite horror movie of all time, and for whatever reason, did not think of it.
Yeah.
But Candyman is fantastic. It has an amazing score by Philip Glass, and Tony Todd is incredible. Incredible as the Candyman. It's an iconic role for him, and they're actually remaking this one, and I have a little bit of faith in it because it's Jordan Peele produced. So it could be very good. It's been delayed till next year. It was supposed to come out this year. But it's been delayed. But Candyman is awesome. Virginia Madsen's in it, and she's an Oscar nominee, and she is fantastic. Xander Berkeley. Who else is in it? It's a fantastic movie.
Okay. And finally, you rounded it out with Event Horizon.
Very good.
Also never heard of.
Also very good.
Okay.
Sam Neill, Lawrence Fishburne. Good stuff.
Speaking of Jordan Peele, though.
Yes. Did you see Us?
I can't
Did you see
remember.
Get Out? Those are good horror movies as well.
Which one was the one where basically the upper class white people are...
That's both of them.
Oh, okay.
That's literally both of them. No, the upper class, that one's Get Out.
Get Out.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw that.
That was
That
awesome.
was great.
So good.
And
Us is
really creepy.
Us is very different.
Yeah.
But also incredibly creepy and also incredibly well done.
Okay.
And Lupita Nyong'o is trying. I don't know that she's like trying not to win an Oscar for a horror movie, but like she's just incredible in everything.
Yeah.
And who else? Winston Duke is in it. He's from Black Panther. Elizabeth Olsen, who is from Mad Men, is in it. Great cast.
Okay.
Great cast.
You know what's really cool about that too is I realized that Jordan Peele has like he's brought in a whole different side of people that didn't even know him from like Key and Peele before that, which was like fairly popular as the comedy duo Key and Peele. I mentioned Jordan Peele and I mentioned I think Key. I think he was just recently on an episode of Conan's podcast.
I think so. Yeah,
or maybe not recently, but I think he was
He's definitely
on
done
it.
a Conan Needs a Friend.
Yeah, and I was looking down and I read that one out, and Nicole wasn't familiar with the name. I was like, oh, he's from Key and Peele. You know Jordan Peele?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. She's like, yeah, he had a whole comedy thing before that.
Yeah.
And I realized, she like had no idea.
And they were both on Mad TV as well.
And they were both on Mad TV, yeah. And now he's just taken the like a total. I don't know if it's a right turn, but like he's got a whole new audience now, which is
Jordan Peele
really cool.
has become one of the best filmmakers in Hollywood right now. But one of the best filmmakers working. He produced a couple seasons of the new Twilight Zone. That's kind of where he's going towards like Hitchcock territory because he's obsessed with Hitchcock. So like it's pretty amazing to see. He's an incredibly talented filmmaker.
Yeah.
But, watch Us. That's another good horror movie to watch as well.
I'll write
with
that
a
one
couple
down
of
too.
good twists.
Okay.
That's
there
right.
you go.
Halloween coming up. You only got 9 more days to watch your horror movie classics or newbies if you want. I don't know.
Now, is it us or US? Because they
It's
sound equally scary.
Here's the thing. So here's the thing about Jordan Peele movies. There are incredible amounts of layers, and part of that is us, and part of that is also US. They both kind of apply.
I see.
Because, I don't want to give any of it away, but
I'm scared already.
There are allegories to be had.
Okay.
Yeah, well, not allegories, not about the Bible, but
looking forward to
what
it. Got a great list.
Good metaphors.
Halloween horror movies. We'll be talking about it, and I'm putting it down right now. Phoenix, you're watching horror movies before Halloween.
There it is.
There it is. Can't get away from it now.
And Hocus Pocus, still not a horror movie.
Still pretty good though.
It's great.
I do like that movie.
So good.
Definitely has some inappropriate humor in it.
Well, yeah.
I can get behind. All right, let's finish it off. Mornings at the Cabin done for another day. For the first day back, thanks for having me, guys. It's been great.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca and by following the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page.